As the farewells began and the tour came to a close, people felt they were going home with a deeper understanding of what their fathers, uncles, and grandfathers had been through. The Force family had learned much and grown closer. Their travels had given them a better understanding of the price paid by the men of the Force. Family members also knew the ongoing price lasted well beyond the war.
When he first got back, we went to another dance. My folks were playing for it. And somebody set off some firecrackers, and he fell to the floor. Yeah, he did. He immediately dropped to the floor. Yeah. He was a little embarrassed by it, but it was a reflex that he did automatically.
Those things around us that trigger our memory, whether it's a sound or a smell, or to see somebody's name on a headstone, or to be in a particular area on a battlefield that you were at 70 years ago, is going to bring memories back to these veterans.
Dave would wake up at night screaming and beating on me. Get down, get down.
See, my husband would not go to a military, to a war movie, to anything military.
Yeah.
And we accidentally went in one. We didn't realize it was.
Well, we didn't
And
either.
as soon as they started shooting, I mean, we were off the door.
Yeah,
He could not sit there. He could not listen.
no.
My husband would talk about it all the time. Anybody that wanted to hear it, why he'd answer any questions or tell the stories. It never bothered him. But he still had a problem.
Mark very rarely ever said anything about the war. He didn't want to talk about it to me, but...
No, Dave didn't want to talk to me.
Many of the Black Devils have dealt with their war memories for all their lives, often in silence. Perhaps as a way to continue protecting those they loved from the horrors of war.
Although it's difficult, they've lost friends, they've seen them die in ways we can't imagine, but they've carried that with them, and it's a personal thing to them.
Not an easy thing for me to I have the feelings, of the loss, but how else can I comfort myself in a situation like that? The only comfort that I get is by praying for their souls and hoping that they're resting with the Lord.
Talking about a thing like that reminds me of a situation on the Anzio beachhead, I think it was, where one of our boys got blown up in a minefield. And he was brought into the company headquarters. And I was supposed to go and check his identification tags. And it was one of the things I'll never forget. I went out, it was in the dark. Identification tags are normally worn around the neck, So I was in the dark and I was feeling around trying to find these darn tags, and all I could get was mess. I gave up, and I went out in the daytime, in the daylight. The body was the wrong way on the stretcher. What I was feeling was the torso here. There were no tags down there. It was blown apart. I never did find him. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that.
We know there was a lot of difficulty, that he suffered PTSD, as they say today. I don't think it was spoken then.
Shell-shocked.
He was shell-shocked. He was medically discharged because of frozen feet, shell shock, malaria. And his father said something to him, what, you're not going to take that disability. You have your legs and arms. And he never did. We knew he suffered.
When you talk about shell shock from World War I, isn't that the same as we're having today out of all these wars? Is that not the same? In my mind, I think it is.
I saw so many of them stayed over there, killed in action, that it's, you feel like, well, you get used to that, but you don't, losing friends like that. It's pretty sad.
I know that there are times when I wonder why I'm here, but I am.
If you remember the scene in Saving Private Ryan when he was visiting the cemetery, the question he asked himself was he worthy of surviving? And I think for these men, they've carried that guilt of why me? Why did I survive? I get emotional about it, and I wonder how they've dealt with that for 70 years. With what they went through, some say it's the luck of the draw, some say that there's a lot of reasons for it, but for those men who did survive, to carry those memories and carry that question in their mind of, was I worthy of surviving? Was I worthy of continuing my life? Did I do as well as I could? Why did he go and I didn't when he was sitting right behind me or right beside me? I don't know. We can't answer those questions. I don't think they can answer those questions. But I think it's something that we need to respect. And respect in the sense that those grave sites, those headstones, are the cost of our freedom.
When we go up to these hills and we see what they were up against, what went on in their souls, when we can grasp just a bit by being in those places, we are opening an area of understanding which otherwise we could not have.
So it was important to come on this trip to get a sense of what he may have gone through, just in terms of seeing the geography that they had to battle.
After seeing this area, the mountain, I can't imagine what these men went through.
As a child, there was not always, but at unpredictable times, there were outbursts of unexplainable anger, maybe rage, and it was difficult. And we didn't know, we didn't understand, we were children. The other day had the honor and the privilege to climb to the top of Mount La Defensa, and at the top, I looked over the side and I said, I understand now. And I forgave my father his rage.
Some people had questions about why their fathers were the way they were. Well, coming here has brought them closer to answering those questions that they grew up with.
When you go up to Defensa and you think that somebody had the guts to attack a mountain like that from midnight till 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and be successful in an operation where thousands, tens of thousands had not been successful, you realize that something is happening in the minds of these men. When you go along the Mussolini Canal and you see what was going on and the conditions of life they lived in for 99 days, you realize that something was happening in the minds of these men. And that apparent or substantial strangeness, according to which side you saw it from, was the result of those conditions of life. Everything takes a different shape, and we are closer to the men of the Special Service Force.